IBM invited me to speak at a meeting on customer loyalty down in Jacksonville, Florida. So I flew into Jacksonville, and I flew in there on Delta Airlines. I don't know if any of you flew Delta. Delta stands for Delays Every Landing Through Atlanta. So the flight's late, and I finally get in, and I get my old beat-up bag, my old tired body, and now I walk out of the airport and I get in the taxi cab line. So I'm standing in the cab line, finally get to the front of the cab line, worn out, it's after midnight, standing there. A guy pulls up in a cab just like this, jumps out of the cab, points at me and says, "Are you ready for the best cab ride of your life?" I said, "Yeah, I guess so." He said, "Well, hop on in." So I'm kind of halfway afraid, now. So I get in the cab, and the guy jogs over, and he gets my bag, and he puts it in his trunk, and he jumps into the car, and he turns around, and he sticks out his hand, and he says, "Mr. McCain?" I said, "Well, yeah, but how'd you know my name?" He said, "I saw it on your luggage tag. Figured I might as well use it." He said, "I'm Taxi Terry." I thought, oh, great, a motivational cab driver, I shake his hand. "Hi, Terry." So we take off. He says, "So where are you going tonight, Mr. McCain?" I said, "Well, heading to the Marriott downtown." He said, "Fantastic, sir. Let's check out the weather." He reaches over. Now, all of a sudden, I realize he's got this pocket PC mounted in a very elaborate bracket in his dash, and he hits a button, and the screen pops up, and he's got a magnifying thing over it, so very clearly I can read from the back seat what's on the screen. He's live, real time on the internet. Weather.com pops up. You can see the seconds ticking away. It is the up to the second weather forecast for the next 3 days for Jacksonville. We have this great conversation. We pull up in front of the Marriott, and once again he throws me a curve. He jumps out of his cab, he runs to the back, he opens up the trunk, he takes out my luggage and holds it like it was kin. Hands it to the bellman. Turns to me. Now, we've all been here, right? I mean, we all travel. This is the point where they hand you a receipt, and then they hand you a business card. "Here's a receipt, for your expenses, and here's a business card. Please call me, and I'll take you back to the airport." And what we normally do is walk out of the hotel, and whatever cab's sitting there, that's what we take. He turns to me, nothing in his hand. He says, "Mr. McCain, I realize you're probably going to need a receipt for your expenses, and you may want to make a reservation to get a ride back to the airport. You can do both of those. Print out your receipt and make your reservation by going to my website, taxiterry.com. A cab driver with his own website. So now here is my fundamental question. If I can get that kind of service on a cab ride in Jacksonville, Florida, why shouldn't the customers of my businesses expect it? Why shouldn't the people that walk in the door of Express expect it? And if I'm not, or if you aren't providing that, what's our excuse? I mean, if the cab driver can do it, why don't we? And if you can think of an excuse, I need your help, because I can't think of any. I've got to hold myself to a higher standard, because if a cab driver can be that innovative, if a cab driver can change the game about what a ride is like from the airport to the hotel, surely to goodness we can find innovative ways to make that happen in our businesses.